This video will discuss chapter 12.7, surface area of pyramids and cones. Start with the formula for the surface or lateral area and surface area of a pyramid. So the lateral area is 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times, and this is the slant. We'll talk about what this is in a second. It's a cursive L. And so if you think about a pyramid, it's kind of the slant of the slant length of the pyramid. And then the surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the base. Or in other words, it's 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the slant length plus the area of the base. So that's for a pyramid. You may want to pause the video and write down this formula. Now the area of the lateral area and surface area of a cone is pi. The lateral area is pi times the radius times the slant length, so it's the same idea. It's like when you think about the cone, the length of the slant. The surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the base. And since the cone has a circular base, it's going to be pi times radius times the slant length plus pi r squared. So you may want to pause the video now and write down this formula for the cone. All right, we're going to start by using these formulas as we find the lateral area and surface area of a pyramid. And so if this is my pyramid, this is 10, so it's a square base that's 10 all the way around. This is the height of the pyramid, which is 12, which in this particular problem is probably something that you don't necessarily need, so it's additional information. And this is the slant length, and that length is 13. So to find this, let's start with the lateral area. The lateral area equals 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the slant length. And so this is going to be 1/2. The perimeter of the base is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. So this is times 40 times the slant length, which is 13. So the lateral area here is going to be 1/2 times 40, which you might say is 20. 20 times 13. So the lateral area equals 260 square inches. Okay, so that's my lateral area. Now, coming back to our formula, I know that it's going to be the lateral area plus the area of the base. So now I just need to find the area of the base. So the area of the base is going to be 10 times 10, so that's 100 square inches. So I know that surface area is going to be L plus B. And so I know surface area is 260 plus 100, so my surface area is 360 square inches. Right, so that's why I want to find the lateral area first, because then it's going to be much easier for me to try to find the surface area. So that's how you find the surface area of a pyramid. All right, now, putting that formula off to the side, we're going to take a look at these formulas, as we're going to look at a cone. And so now we're going to take a cone, which the radius is 4 feet and the slant is 10 feet. Sometimes they'll give you the height, though in this particular example you don't necessarily need the height. Remember, sometimes they'll give you the full diameter, in which case you need to just find the radius. But in this particular problem, they gave us just the radius. And so I need to find the lateral area, which is going to be pi times the radius times the slant length. And so this is going to be pi times 4 times 10, and so this is 40 pi. And so it probably makes sense to leave my answer as 40 pi at this point, but if I only wanted to find the lateral area, I could round it, and I could do, it's 125.666 or 6637, and so that means that I'm going to end up rounding this to 125, and this is what, feet? This should be a 5, sorry. But I probably want to leave it here for now, because what I'm going to end up doing, I'll come back to this in a second, is I'm going to use this surface area. I'm going to use this one. And so it's going to be the lateral area plus the area of the base. And I want to keep this as a pi because I'm going to round it later. And so the area of the base is going to be pi times radius squared. And so this means it's going to be pi times 4 squared, and so the area of the base is 16 pi. So now when I want to find the surface area, let's switch colors, I'm sorry. Should have done this in the last one. So I want to find the surface area, which is going to be lateral area plus the area of the base. This is going to be 40 pi plus 16 pi, which means now since they have pi in common, I can just add the numbers together. I end up getting 56 pi, and now is when I want to round. So I'm going to go 56 times pi, and now is when you get 176.929, that's a 9, sorry, dot, 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 which means this 2 tells me I should leave it the same. So my surface area is 176.9 square feet. Okay, and so the idea here is that you don't want to round until the very last step, which is why I kept this as 40 pi and I kept this as 16 pi instead of going 16 times 3.14. Because your problem is if you round, then this number is rounded and this number is rounded, and then you're going to round again down here. You're just doing too much rounding. So right now, the only time I rounded was when I got down to here. Right? If I leave this as 40 pi instead of making it 125.7, if I leave this as 40 pi and I leave this as 16 pi, I'm not rounding here. And then I end up getting to 56 times pi, and that's when I'm going to multiply them together, and I'm going to have to round as my very last step. All right, so that's all we got for you today on the surface area of cones, pyramids and cones. Thanks very much for watching the video. Don't forget to do the problems on the bottom of the page. See you in class.